Hi, I'm Extreme Retriever, linguist, founder of Lingua and Lingua Plus. And today I'd like to talk to you about, adaptation, cultural immersion. A lot of people who go to another country to study, language or another subject, and those who also go for migration reasons, have a few ways to get into the local community. Or maybe actually stay on their own, or like hermit. For instance, what I notice is that a lot of people don't feel confident with their language level to start talking to locals, like talking outside or for supermarkets, right? Just like making friends. And a lot of them prefer to stay with other foreigners speaking, English or whichever other language that is not local. And I believe if you do so, if you recognize yourself as this person, ask yourself whether this benefits you. Because the idea, if you're moving to another country, um, you want to enhance that language, you want to learn it, and you want to be able to make go with the locals. So instead of staying with your people, maybe your ghetto, your community, like of same foreign language, go out there and indeed start making friends. And there are different ways how you can engage with the local community. Well, if you're a student, it's quite easy because you can go to school, university, right? And just start making friends there based as well, like on your interests, based on your class, exams, different university societies. That's perfect. But what if you are an adult, yeah, a professional? What to do in this case? Again, depends on your interests, course, and company where you're working at. Maybe as well, just in making friends or friends, like maybe local friends of your international friends. You can also look up at meetups, local meetups. Um, if you have particular hobbies, go there, join a club. Maybe if it's somewhere on the coast, surfing, go and meet local guys. If it's something like cosmic writing, I'm just inventing from my personal experience, but it can be anything. It can be painting, music, movies, where you can meet local friends. And maybe at the start you won't click well. Maybe they don't share many of your interests, but at least you will start conversing in that language. You'll be practicing more, and through these people, you will meet more people and then more and more and more. And that will really help you to get adjusted to the local culture because, like this, you will learn more about the current affairs, political, socioeconomical, cultural references, everything that's important for you, for your fluency, for your comfortable, presence in the culture and that language. What happens when we have a situation when a family actually migrates to a new country, a foreign country, and the family doesn't speak language well and don't really want to mingle, right? And they continue speaking their native language at home, and the kids start learning local language in the street at school. It is tricky. For kids, for children, it's good that there are different languages, right? So like two, three languages in their hand, that's an advantage. But for parents, yeah, for these families, I understand that it's a lot about preserving the culture, yeah, in close community. I've seen, such examples, but it's also about making connections because you don't want to be closed up in the community. You also want to connect with the locals because this will help you to show up to, self-actualize that local community where your work, your service, it will give you more opportunities. It will provide you more different options. Again, whether it's for income, whether it's for entertainment, friendships. And I believe that will also enrich you, yeah, with experiences. So it's important to see like how to cross the line, go from a complete segregation when you're a foreigner, yeah, foreign country, to assimilation. But also you can find a sweet spot between segregation and assimilation. You can get into a spot where you can feel quite assimilated with locals, and locals will start taking you for a local, right? And you can also manage to keep there this part of yourself with your international friends or friends from your culture, where you will be still presenting your face from your culture. And I typically call it as language alter ego when you're like balancing, creating different personalities for different cultures. And this could be the case because there have been different studies, like for instance about Brazilians coming to Portugal, and even though like we think, oh, it's all Portuguese, no, Portuguese from Portugal, Portuguese from Brazil are quite different. So Brazilians didn't feel comfortable getting closer to Portuguese ones, and they would create their own close communities, and that eventually didn't play well. So some of these Brazilian immigrants would start actually getting more engaged in the communication with the locals, and then strike the balance in their cultural representation and their adaptation. Of course, there are a lot of examples of less American immigrants under Spain, and how again there would be communities like Bolivian community, for instance, right, or Argentinian community, where they will just stay together, close community. I believe if we want to live in this multicultural, multilingual world with diversity, where we can get connected based on our interests, our experiences, um, we can also be more open culturally, meaning that uh, we won't lose our culture if you have one, right? But we can open up for another culture, and eventually we'll have two, three, and more cultures. And again, it's something that's beautiful for our own knowledge, for our own experience, and then we can also pass it down to our children. And then potentially, if it's a migration family, like a migration family, so then we will have as they call like third culture kids. I don't know if you've heard about this term. We can also talk about it. Um, but I feel that yeah, we need to open up those close communities, and if you're a part of them, try to connect with the locals. I think it's super important because then feel we can reduce as well the level, well, not only yes, segregation, but also some sort of like negative or thoughts about it. Yeah, and when we talk about locals and foreigners coming in, also like about making friends, I know that there are more and more remote workers and digital nomads. Yeah, it's a problem about loneliness. For instance, digital nomads could and friends the same. Like as already mentioned about your professionals, like if you are not anchored particular office, company where you can make new friends here with your colleagues, then definitely there's so many now co-working spaces. You can start here with international friends, but also in co-working spaces you may find local friends. Definitely events in co-working spaces, festivals, local events. That's where you can find more friends apart from all their interests like hobby clubs, right? So on. So I believe when we go to another country, we respect the local culture. So bring our culture, but we also respect our culture and we try to connect. That's when the beauty of travel and this cultural intelligence actually occurs. Because suddenly we're capable of speaking two or more languages. Um, our mindset opens up, like our horizons broaden, and we get new experiences and we make new friends, and we serve for more people in new community.